approach the end of 2022, in this video, I'm going to be talking about the most talked about book in this year. And you know who's talking about it? Mostly mothers and parents. And the name of the book is IGIKAI. So, this video, I'm going to decode the book IGIKAI from a mother's perspective, from a parent's perspective, from a working mother's perspective, from a homemaker's perspective, and this will help you absolutely understand the book. And IGIKAI Decoded means that you don't have to spend time reading the book. So let's get ahead in the video. So IGIKAI, I'm just going to tell you what this book is all about. IGIKAI is a Japanese secret to long and happy life, and it is written by Hector Garcia and Frances Morales, and it is translated, obviously it was written in Japanese, and it is translated by Heather Cleary. And thank you so much, Heather, for translating it for us, because this book is absolutely awesome. So I started reading this book in around September, and what fascinated me about this book is that it totally transported me to this city of Okinawa, or this island of Okinawa in Japan. Now this book starts with explaining how people lead their life in Okinawa, Japan, and what is their daily life like, what time do they get up, what they actually eat, what they actually do, what is their profession. And one great thing about many people in Japan is that they lead a very healthy life, and they lead a very long life. So then this book starts talking about Okinawa, Japan, and how their lifestyle is, and what they eat, and how long they live. Plus, what I found very interesting is these interviews of people who have lived their life beyond 100 years. They have lived their life beyond 110 years as well. And there are people who have lived their life as long as 120 years. My God, 120 years without being a vampire. If somebody has led their life for 120 years, should they not be celebrated? And while reading these interviews, I was very touched. And there was one fascinating interview of a woman who started smoking at the age of 25-26. This is when the bad habits start, right? So she said that she started smoking, and her husband was also smoking with her, and smoking was one of her favorite pastimes. She continued smoking till about 110, and the funny reason why she stopped smoking after 110 years is that because she had done countless surgeries of cataract, and after you complete 100 years of age, you can't actually undergo any surgeries. So while lighting the cigarette, her hands started getting burnt, and she could not see anything nearby, and her eyesight was really damaged. So she stopped smoking because she actually couldn't light the cigarette. So there are many such interviews in this book where elderly people talk to you about how they've lived life and how their life has changed for the past 100 years. And these interviews are really amazing. But what actually is Ikigai? So, coming back to the point of what is Ikigai. Now, as we move forward in the book, and slowly we learn the perspective of people actually living in Japan. Now, if you've not heard about people in Japan or the Japanese way of living is completely different from how we live in US or how we live in India or Europe or any other parts. In Japan, tradition or respect and all these things have given a lot of importance. Also, Japanese people are mainly Buddhists, and they also meditate, so that is how their way of life is, that is how their way of thinking is. And that, I think, that is why Japan after Hiroshima and Nagasaki has come up because of their values, because of their way of thinking. Here, then the author starts talking about what is actually Ikigai. Ikigai is something very simple. Ikigai is the purpose of your life. Now, here, if you watch this video till here, now you tell me, have you found your purpose of life? If you ask me this question, I have found the purpose of my life. Like I have been telling you in all my videos, I am writing a book as a side hustle, and I think that writing that book is a purpose of my life. Also, making these YouTube videos and talking to you guys is also a purpose of my life, because that brings me immense pleasure and joy. So, coming back to the point, now because I'm decoding this book for you, I have written down points, so pardon me if I'm referring to this and talking to you. Okay? So, Ikigai is the purpose of your life. Now, the author starts talking about when do you have to make this decision of what are you going to do in your life. Just imagine. Now, I think all these mommies who are watching my video are 30 plus, right? So, reflect back when you were 16, when you were 18, and you had to make this decision of whether to choose arts, science or commerce. Okay, you made that decision and you went to college, and after completing your college, you had to actually make that decision of, okay, I have studied this, but what am I actually going to do? Now, if people or your kids who are 17, 18 start reading this book, they can actually apply this book, right? But for us, what can we do and how can we apply this book as a lesson, or as what should we do in our life? Basically, sit down and relax and think about what is the purpose of your life. If you are not able to understand this question, or you are not able to answer this question, listen to this video. I will explain it to you. Now, this book is divided then into 4 sections. Okay. So the first section talks about what you love. The second section talks about what are you good at. Then the third section talks about what should you be paid for, and the fourth section talks about what the world needs, right? Now think about what you love. There are a number of things that you love. You may love traveling, you may love painting, you may love dancing, you may love cooking, and some people also may love to teach kids, take care of kids, spend time with dogs. Write it down. Write the things that you love. Write the things that you are good at. Then when you combine these two, like what you love and what you are good at, the inference that you derive on is your passion. Isn't it magic? Right? Now, write down the things that you are so good at that people are willing to pay you for it. For example, I can say that people would pay me for my gardening lessons, or for my parenting talks, or my Instagram videos, for example, right? Because I'm really good at it, brands and people would like to pay me for it. So write that down. Then also write things down which are non-existent in this world, or which the world really needs. So if you ask me this question, world needs to go plastic free, zero waste, sustainability. Now, if I combine these two things, that what brands would pay me for plus what the world needs, becomes my profession. And when you combine the things that you are good at and what the world needs, becomes your vocation. Now when you combine your passion and your vocation, what you get is your mission. That is your mission in life. So guys, don't get confused here. Write down things that you're good at, write down things that you love. And when you find out your passion, connect that with what the world needs right now and what people would pay you because you're extremely good at. And if you're getting confused at this, just think about what the world needs right now and what I am good at. That will also help you narrow down on things which can become the purpose of your life. And what I found out while I was reading this book is that we always know our purpose in life, don't we? Like right from a very young age, I knew that the purpose of my life is to be on screen. The purpose of my life is to write stories. But this book hadn't come to me that time. But I always knew that this is the purpose of my life. This is why God created me. This is why God sent me in this universe, on this earth, maybe in Bombay or in India or wherever I am. So think and think and think and write down all these things, and this will help you find your Ikigai in your life. Once you find the Ikigai in your life, the purpose of your life, you achieve a flow state. Now what is a flow state? Flow state means that you understand why you were created, and hence you start working at that purpose. You find a goal in your life, and because you have found a goal in your life, you are very, very happy. Because, why? Because you're not confused. You are not thinking, आज मैं क्या करूँ, बहुत बोर हो रहा है, or where should I go next? And I'm not saying that stop enjoying your life and just work towards this goal. You have found a purpose in your life, so make it a roadmap. Make a roadmap so that you can reach this goal, but don't stop enjoying your life. Like, I have not stopped working out, or I have not stopped traveling, or I have not stopped taking care of my kids, I have not stopped going to parties and something. In fact, I'm enjoying my life because now I know the purpose of my life. So that is what the author is trying to say. And when you reach this end of this book, you will yourself feel that wow, why did I not think in this direction since I was in college? So hence, mothers, Ikigai Decoded is not only for you. Ikigai Decoded is to help your kids achieve this flow state at a much younger stage. If you have a 16-year-old, if you have a 15-year-old, if you have a 12 or a 13-year-old also, try and try reading this book and try explaining it to your daughter or your son. And if he or she is of that age where he or she needs to make that decision, then you must urge them to read this book. Now, last but not the least, I am quickly coming down to what you should not learn from this book. So once there was this thing happening that, I was talking to a group of fitness enthusiasts, and they were asking me a lot of questions because, I lost a lot of weight. So they asked me that, there is this one place in Japan where they only eat veg and they live around 110 years. So, why should we eat protein? Now guys, you cannot directly copy the lifestyle of people in Okinawa, Japan. First of all, Bombay is a polluted city. Secondly, we are not staying in Japan and we have not followed what they have been doing for 50 plus years. We have led a sedentary lifestyle. We have had junk. We have, actually abused our bodies sometimes. We drink and we do not follow their lifestyle of getting up at 7 a.m. in the morning, doing hard work, plowing the fields, cutting the crops. So we cannot just place ourselves in that situation and copy their lifestyle. So what you should learn, you should not do from this book is directly copy their lifestyle, directly copy their food habits, directly copy their way of thinking. Because you are here today because of a certain principles that you followed in your life. Your parents raised you in a certain way. Suddenly I cannot become like a Japanese monk and copy whatever they have been doing. That would be a wrong Ikigai in your life. So how did you like this video on Ikigai Decoded for mothers, for homemakers, for working mothers? Did it help you find your passion, your Ikigai in your life? Do let me know, and if you know the purpose in your life, I am extremely happy for you because you have found your Ikigai. For people who have not, you will find it, and if you think you should read this book in detail, do give it a try, but I would urge you to not waste paper and read it on a Kindle instead, because trees are cut to make paper. And with this, we come to the end of this video. I will see you in the next video talking about some of the things that women say which are not good to hear. So see you next time. Bye. Keep on rocking.